Hello everyone, and welcome to After Midnight Stories. In this episode, we are staying in Germany. But this time, we are going to explore one of the country's most famous legends. The legend of Lorelei, a mysterious woman forever linked to a towering rock above the Rhine River. A place that has since become one of Germany's most popular tourist attractions. Yet behind its breathtaking scenery lies a haunting story that has been passed down for generations. According to legend, a beautiful young woman named Lorelei once lived high above the Rhine on a steep and rocky cliff. She wore a flowing white dress and a crown woven from stars. Her voice was said to be so beautiful and enchanting that it could place anyone who heard it under a spell. Because of this, many believed that Lorelei was a mesmerizing river nymph. But another version of the legend tells a much darker story. Some believe that Lorelei was not a nymph at all, but the vengeful spirit of a young woman whose heart had been shattered by love. Unable to let go of her pain, her spirit remained on the cliff, calling out to those who passed below. So, what is the truth behind this legend? Today, After Midnight Stories will take you through both sides of the Lorelei tale. Was she a beautiful river nymph? Or a restless spirit still unable to let go of the past? When you're ready, let us begin. Faded behind the mountains and a cool breeze swept across the Rhine. Old fishermen and sailors would lower their voices before telling a legend that had been passed down for generations. They believed the towering Lorelei rock was more than just a cliff. It was where the spirit of a mysterious young woman still lingered. According to the legend, Lorelei was once an ordinary woman, but her beauty seemed almost supernatural, and her voice was so enchanting that anyone who heard it found it impossible to resist. Many men became captivated by her. Some abandoned their families. Others risked sailing through the Rhine's dangerous waters, hoping to catch just one glimpse of the woman they adored. But none of them ever returned. People began to wonder. Was Lorelei simply a tragic young woman? Or a restless spirit caught between the worlds of the living and the dead? Each evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, she would appear atop the cliff. Her long golden hair flowed in the wind as she slowly brushed it with a golden comb. Then, she began to sing. Her voice wasn't loud. It was soft, melancholy, beautiful, and impossible to ignore. Sailors often said it felt as though someone was whispering their names. Come to me, come to me. Drawn by her song, they looked toward the cliff, never realizing their boats were drifting straight toward the hidden rocks below. Moments later, the sound of splintering would echo through the valley. The river swallowed everything. Only her haunting song remained. A few survivors claimed that at dawn, they saw Lorelei standing on the cliff, wearing a smile that was both beautiful and heartbreakingly sad. Some say she never meant to lure anyone to their death. Perhaps she was only a lonely soul, waiting for someone to stay with her forever. And maybe that's why her song still echoes across the Rhine. Because those who hear it most clearly rarely live to tell the tale. But here's where the story becomes even more interesting. If we trace the true origins of the Lorelei legend, we discover that the image of a golden-haired woman singing from the cliff may not be as ancient as many people believe. Although the name Lorelei has existed for over 1,000 years, it originally had nothing to do with a mysterious woman. The name comes from Old German. Lei means a rock or cliff, while the other part refers to an echo. Together, the name roughly means the echoing rock. The Rhine is at its narrowest there, with powerful currents and hidden rocks beneath the water. The strange echoes created by the river led people to believe that supernatural beings lived within the cliffs. But they weren't describing a golden-haired woman. Instead, they spoke of mountain spirits, dwarfs, nymphs, and guardians of the river that lured sailors to their doom. So where did Lorelei herself come from? The answer begins in 1801, when the German poet Clemens Brentano introduced a woman named Lorelei in one of his poems. She was a heartbroken young woman who was accused of enchanting men before throwing herself from the cliffs above the Rhine. Years later, another poet, Heinrich Heine, transformed her into the golden-haired maiden sitting atop the cliff. gently combing her hair while singing a haunting melody. His poem became enormously popular, was later turned into a song, and spread across Europe. From that moment on, many people came to believe that the singing maiden was part of an ancient folk legend. But in reality, the Lorelei we know today may have begun as a work of literature that slowly merged with centuries of local folklore. So, what do you think? Was Lorelei nothing more than a poet's imagination? Or was the poem inspired by someone who had truly seen her? And what about you? Which version of the legend do you believe? Do you think Lorelei was simply a story born from ancient folklore? Or do you believe she really existed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And before we go, if I got any part of this story wrong, I sincerely apologize. All of the information in this video was carefully researched from publicly available sources online. And while I always do my best to present it as accurately as possible, there may still be mistakes. If any of the visuals or illustrations weren't completely accurate, I apologize for that as well. Every comment, correction, and piece of feedback helps us improve, and we truly appreciate your support. If you enjoy mysterious stories, legends, and forgotten folklore from around the world, don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to After Midnight Stories, and join us for the next story. Until next time.